Hello and welcome to Standard Voice Television Global News, today 14th August 2026. Equivalent Islamic calendar, 1st Rabiul Awal 1448 after the Hijrah of the Noble Prophet. The headlines. President Tinubu assures Nigeria's refineries will soon commence operations. INEC vows Ocean governorship election will be transparent. Security operatives foil bandits' attack and defuse explosives in Zamfara. On the international scene, United Nations raises alarm on Taliban's rights abuse against Afghan women and girls. And on sport update, South Africa beat Super Falcons 2-1 in 2026 WAFCON quarterfinals. Details of these and more will be coming to you in the bulletin. I am Sumaya Mustafa. Stand by. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has assured Nigerians that the nation's refineries will bounce back, while regretting that the expected benefits from compressed natural gas (CNG) are going into the pockets of truck owners. Tinubu stated this when he received the leadership of Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, noting that the union has been a good partner in government's progress. This is coming as NUPENG President Salomon Akani Oladiti pleaded with Tinubu to help stop the casualization of workers in the oil industry. Tinubu also recalled the promise he made while seeking the presidency that he would remove the fuel subsidy and the threat by oil and gas workers to down tools. Earlier, NUPENG President pleaded with the president to check the casualization of workers in the oil industry. Oladiti, who described the trend as unwholesome, expressed concern that efforts to make oil companies, particularly in the upstream sector, stop the practice have been constantly rebuffed. Moving on, the Presidential Working Group on the National Policing Bill has extended the deadline for the submission of memoranda and position papers on the proposed legislation to Friday, August 21, 2026. The Chief of Staff to the President and Chairman of the committee, Femi Gbajabiamila, in a statement said the extension is intended to ensure that interested individuals, institutions and organizations have adequate opportunity to make substantive contributions to the proposed legislation. He stressed that legal practitioners, civil society organizations, security sector professionals, state governments, professional bodies, academics, experts and interested members of the public are encouraged to take advantage of the extended window to submit their memoranda and position papers exclusively through the official National Policing Bill portal. According to Gbajabiamila, developing an effective policing framework requires careful consideration of a number of critical issues, including sustainable funding, command and control structures, recruitment and training standards, operational jurisdiction, interagency coordination, accountability mechanisms and safeguards against political interference or abuse. Still in the news, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has assured that the Osun State governorship poll will be free, fair and transparent. The electoral umpire made this known as activities for the last off-cycle election before the 2027 general election climax, adding that ballot papers and result sheets have arrived in Osogbo, the state capital. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Mohammed Haruna, who disclosed this, reassures political parties, civil society organizations, media and the good people of Osun State of its total readiness to conduct a free, fair, credible, transparent and inclusive election. INEC confirmed that over 1.9 million eligible voters out of the more than 2.3 million registered voters in Osun State are qualified to vote, noting that the figure represents the number of permanent voter cards (PVCs) collected, representing 81.5%. On his part, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had called on stakeholders, including candidates, party leaders, the electorate, security officers, and INEC, to be committed to a credible and peaceful poll. The National Orientation Agency (NOA) has attributed election violence, misinformation, vote buying and declining trust as factors eroding Nigeria's confidence in the electoral process. NOA Director, Civic Values and Democracy Education, Olukemi Afolayan, made the assertion in a statement in Abuja at an election roundtable organized by Create Studio Nigeria and the Humanitarian Foundation for Social Justice. She stressed that the growing perception among some citizens, particularly young Nigerians, that their votes did not make a meaningful difference was contributing to voter apathy. According to her, restoring citizens' confidence in the democratic process was necessary to reverse voter apathy and encourage greater participation in elections. Also, University Don Ajibade Michael advised Nigerians above the age of 70 to leave the country's political system, arguing that the youths are better positioned to determine the nation's future. On his part, the Executive Director, Humanitarian Foundation for Social Justice, Adekunle Adebanjo, said the roundtable was designed to assess Nigeria's democratic journey and identify political ways of strengthening the electoral process. Moving on, the Court of Appeal Abuja Division has ruled that the People's Democratic Party PDP gubernatorial candidate in Osun State was validly nominated by the Tanimu Turaki-led National Working Committee, NWC. The court also ordered Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to list the PDP logo on the ballot ahead of Saturday's gubernatorial election. The appeal court held that the access code is neither a creation of the Constitution nor the Electoral Act. Rather, it is a creation of INEC's guidelines and cannot in any way override the provisions of the Constitution. The three-man panel of justices, Justice Mahmood, Justice Jaro, and Justice Ankawere, were unanimous in its verdict. The court also ruled that the primary election conducted by the Tanimu Turaki-led National Working Committee (NWC) of the PDP was a valid primary election in law. The news is coming to you on Standard Voice Television. Still to come in the news. Security operatives foil bandits' attack and defuse explosives in Zamfara. On the international scene, United Nations raises alarm on Taliban's rights abuse against Afghan women and girls. On sport updates, South Africa beat Super Falcons 2-1 in 2026 WAFCON quarterfinals. These and more will be coming to you after this break. Do stay tuned.
Good day, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ezekiel Damfulani. I'm the Managing Director of the Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation, NAIC. It is my pleasure to introduce NAIC, Nigeria's foremost agricultural insurance institution, established to provide insurance protection and risk management solutions for farmers, agribusinesses, and agricultural investments across the country. At NAIC, our mission is to safeguard farmers against losses arising from natural disasters, adverse weather conditions, pests, diseases, and other unforeseen risks that threaten agricultural productivity. By providing reliable insurance coverage, we help farmers recover from losses, improve access to finance, and contribute to national and food security and economic growth. In line with renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, we are committed to strengthening NAIC's capacity by expanding insurance coverage, embracing technology and innovation, and ensuring that more farmers and agricultural stakeholders across Nigeria benefit from our services. Agriculture remains the backbone of our economy, and insurance is the critical tool for protecting investments, enhancing productivity, and promoting sustainable growth in the sector. Through strategic partnership, improved service delivery, and digital transformation, NAIC will continue to support farmers and contribute to Nigerian food security and economic development. Together, we can build a more resilient agricultural sector and secure the future of farming in Nigeria. Thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Welcome back from that break, and now the news continues. The Zamfara State Police Command has foiled a bandits' attack in Zurmi and the prompt clearance of a suspected landmine, EID, along the Gurusu to Gwashi Road in Bukuyum local government area. Spokesperson for the command, DSP Yazid Abubakar, in a statement, said a report was received from a Good Samaritan at the Divisional Police Zurmi that some members of the community would embark on a tree planting exercise at the Zurmi Muslim Praying Ground along Rukudawa Road. He added that a patrol team was deployed to provide security coverage for the exercise. While the program was ongoing, armed bandits launched a surprise attack on the security personnel, firing sporadically. Abubakar said the security personnel immediately engaged the bandits in a counter-gun battle, which forced the bandits to retreat into a nearby forest. The spokesperson stated in a separate incident, a suspected landmine EID exploded along the Gurushu to Gwashi Road in Bukuyum local government area. The Joint Task Force Northwest, Operation Fansanyama, has unveiled a major offensive code named Operation Clean Sweep 4 against terrorists and armed criminal networks operating across the region. The Media Information Officer of the Joint Task Force, Lieutenant Colonel Aliyu Denja, who disclosed this in a statement, said the offensive combines coordinated ground and air operations to destroy terrorist networks, disrupt their movements and logistics, and prevent them from establishing new operational bases in communities across the Northwest. He added that troops of Sector 2 carried out a clearance operation around suspected terrorist enclaves in Dusima local government area of Katsina State, forcing the criminals to abandon their positions and retreat into bushes. Denja also said similar operations was carried out in Zamfara State by the air component of Operation Fansanyama in Anka local government area, killing scores of terrorists, while surviving fighters abandoned their motorcycles and fled into surrounding bushes. Still in the news, the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu is leading a high-level Nigerian delegation to Washington, D.C. for a United States-Nigeria Joint Working Group meeting focused on counter-terrorism cooperation and bilateral security relations. The Joint Working Group was established amid heightened deliberations between Abuja and Washington following the U.S. designated of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, CPC, over alleged religious freedom concerns. The U.S. delegation is being led under Secretary of State for Political Affairs, Alison Hooker. The discussions are expected to review progress in counterterrorism efforts, identify areas requiring further cooperation, and determine the next steps in strengthening security collaboration between Nigeria and the United States. The meetings are also expected to provide an avenue for both countries to strengthen intelligence cooperation, counterterrorism coordination, and broader bilateral defense relations. And on the international scene, the United Nations UN report says women and girls in Afghanistan have been systematically stripped of their rights since the Taliban seized power in August 2021. The UN decried the imposition of decrees targeting women and girls, restraining work, freedom of movement, and education, calling it institutionalized discrimination. UN Women and the exclusion of females from schools, jobs, public life, justice systems, and healthcare has intensified since 2025, deteriorating the world's most severe women's rights crisis. The agency also observed that the restrictions, alongside shorter life expectancy, higher risk of maternal death, child marriage, and gender-based violence, have also triggered a mental health crisis. According to the UN body, half of the women interviewed disclosed that they leave home only once or twice a month and feel unsafe outside without a male guardian, confirming one in fundamental rights. And lastly, on sport update, Nigeria's Super Falcons will not play at the 2027 Women's World Cup after 2-1 defeat by Bayana of South Africa. The Falcons had a second chance to qualify after losing in the quarterfinals of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON. However, following a goalless first half, the Nigeria side were down by 2 goals after the break. South Africans Tembi Gatlana and Refilo Jane both scored to give Bayana a lead. Although Christy Ochiebe pulled one back from the spot, there was no time to score an equalizer and take the game to extra time. This is the first time the Falcons and the Super Eagles have failed to qualify for the respective World Cups at the same time. Finally on the news, the recap of the top stories again. President Tinubu assures Nigeria's refineries will soon commence operations. INEC vows Ocean governorship election will be transparent. Security operatives foil bandits' attack and defuse explosives in Zamfara. On the international scene, United Nations raises alarm on Taliban's rights abuse against Afghan women and girls. And on sport update, South Africa beat Super Falcons 2-1 in 2026 WAFCON quarterfinals. On behalf of the news editor, Ilya Adamu Auta, and the production crew, I am Sumaya Mustafa, thanking you and bye for now.